Hey, I'm Nico, and here are 30 useless facts about Super Mario World. Before developing Super Mario World, the team was a bit afraid that developing for the Super Nintendo would be a bit challenging, so they actually ported Super Mario Bros. 3 to the SNES to improve their skills. After this experiment, Miyamoto realized that the team's goal would be to use this new hardware to create something totally new. Super Mario World is the first game to introduce Yoshi the Dinosaur, but it wasn't actually planned like that. According to Shigeru Miyamoto, sketches and plans to have a dinosaur friend for Mario date back to the NES era. Miyamoto actually wanted Yoshi to be in the original Super Mario Bros. Game, but the technical limitations of Nintendo's entertainment system didn't allow him to do so. Super Mario World's development started in 1988, and the game was released in 1990. Meaning it was made in a little bit less than 2 years. For reference, Super Mario Bros. 3 for the NES was made in 2.5 years. Development was a bit rushed in order for the game to release and compete against Sega to try to destroy their very popular mascot, Sonic the Hedgehog. The game is called Super Mario World, but the Japanese box art actually also includes the subtitle Super Mario Bros. 4, but that's actually the only place this subtitle is ever used. There is an early prototype of the game that actually features an island that is shaped like a super mushroom, but this island was not in the final game. The level that is being played during the title screen intro is not just a random one, it's actually an unfinished version of the level called Groovy. Look at the two side by side, very similar. When visiting Yoshi's house, you can see a red mailbox with a logo on it. This logo is actually the one of Japan's postal service. There was a massive Nintendo leak back in 2020 that revealed a bunch of things about games, scrapped ideas, and much more. The leak showcased a giant version of the bullet bill, which actually was as big as the entire game screen. It didn't make the cut and was replaced by the banzai bill, but it's cool to note that this idea came back in New Super Mario Bros. Wii with the introduction of the King Bill enemy. There is a level that features those dolphins that you have to jump on and ride to the end. If you bring Yoshi and try to eat the dolphins, nothing will happen. However, if you are playing the Japanese version or the Game Boy Advance remake, you can actually eat the dolphins. Ugh, that's kinda gross. So you know how boos can't actually look at you and will hide if you face them? Well, if you stay there and stare at a boo for about 12 to 13 seconds, it will make a funny face back. And if you look at a big boo for about 25 seconds, it will peek out from hiding to see if you're still looking at it. That's pretty cool! When you clear a castle, you cannot re-enter it and play the level, which is a bummer. But here's the thing, there is a secret way to replay castle levels. Instead of pushing B to enter the level, well, just push L and R at the same time, and voila, you're back inside. Have you noticed how Yoshi's arms are orange in this game? No matter what color Yoshi you hop on, their hands will always be orange. Why is that? Well, I don't actually know. Maybe Yoshi used to wear gloves back then? All I know is that the GBA version actually fixed the color. Another weird thing is that Bowser and the Koopalings only have 3 fingers in the SNES version. They gained a 4th finger in the GBA remake though. This is so sus. After clearing the 6th castle level and just before entering Bowser's Land, you'll have to do this sunken ghost ship level, which is actually pretty fun, but it's also kinda dark. According to the instruction manual, this sunken ship is one of Bowser's airship from Super Mario Bros. 3. After Mario cleared it, the ship crashed into the water and every single enemy aboard died and became a ghost. Ugh, that's a bit dark. And that's not the only Super Mario Bros. 3 reference the game was planned to have. Before the Cape Feather became the new hot power-up, the Raccoon Leaf was planned to make a comeback. we can only see a couple screenshots from some NES test cartridges, and we have no footage of how it actually works, but it's kinda cool to know that it was at one point planned to be in the game. If you have a power-up like the Cape Feather or the Fire Flower and you get hurt, you'll turn into Small Mario instantly. But in the Game Boy Advance version, you'll revert back to Big Mario instead. Most of the Koopalings were named after a musician or a celebrity, and the same goes for the new mini-boss, Reznor, who's actually named after Trent Reznor, who's the lead vocalist for the band 9 Inch Nails. In the Super Nintendo version of the game, the maximum amount of lives is 99, but on the Game Boy Advance version, it was actually increased to 999. We all know that Luigi jumps higher than his brother Mario nowadays, but back when the SNES game was released, this wasn't the case. Mario and Luigi were pretty much the same character, but when the GBA game was released, well, Luigi was given his own original sprite and also his ability to jump higher than Mario. Neat! Rip Van Fish, the sleeping fish, will chase Mario when he's close to him, but if Mario is under the effect of the superstar, well, the fish will instead flee away from him. What a coward. The fifth world, the Forest of Illusion, is actually called Mayoi no Mori in the Japanese version, which roughly translates to The Lost Woods, which might actually be a reference to The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, that actually features an area called the Lost Woods. If you beat the entire Star World, you'll unlock a special world that features 8 new levels to play. The name of the levels are all based on 1980s slang words like gnarly, tubular, way cool, groovy, mundo, outrageous, awesome, funky. Imagine saying some of these words nowadays. Cringe. The Japanese version doesn't feature those cool words though, and instead calls the first 2 levels Fun Course. The third and fourth, even the Mario staff is shocked course. The 5th and 6th, Specialist's Course. And the 7th and 8th, Championship Course. Huh. Interesting. The symbol that appears on top of the word special in the special world is not only a symbol, it's actually the logo of the Super Famicom in Japan and the SNES logo in Europe. If you chill for a bit on the map screen of the special world, the music will eventually play a remix of the original Super Mario Bros. Theme. After beating the final level of the special world, you'll run through a bunch of coins spelling "You are a super player," which is pretty nice, thank you. The Japanese version, on the other hand, actually had a spelling mistake. It says "You are super player." Looks like someone forgot a letter. And going through this star portal after beating the final stage will bring you back to Yoshi's Island. But as you can see, a bunch of colors are changed. It's no longer summertime, and with fall being here, the map was changed quite a bit. A bunch of enemies were also changed, like the Koopas now wearing Mario masks, the Bullet Bill being replaced by bird-like enemies, and the Piranha Plants now being pumpkins. The end screen after beating the game shows Mario and Luigi wearing red and green shoes, but that's a bit odd, because throughout the game they both wear brown shoes. Did they buy themselves new cool shoes with all of the coins they collected? Who knows? Super Mario World sold 20.6 million copies, making it the best-selling game for the Super Nintendo. Thanks for watching the video, I hope you liked it, and I hope you learned something new today. If you did, smash like and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!